The 3D particle system creates a large number of automatically animated objects, like explosions, sparklers, and fireworks. You can use the particle systems found in the bin library to add preset particle systems to your composition. Or you can create your own using the 3D particle tools. Here, we have a scene with 3D geometry of an ornament, a camera, and a few lights. We'll use the particle system to create snow. You typically start by adding an emitter tool. This is the main source of particles. To view the output of a particle system, you add a particle render node after the emitter. Then press the 1 key to see it in the viewer. By default, the particle emitter shape appears as a small sphere in a 3D scene. The emitter is the area that produces these particles. Select the emitter to adjust its controls. You can change the number of particles produced per frame, the lifespan or duration of the particles, the velocity controls for pushing the particles out from the emitter, and the angle from which the particles come out. Since items in nature are not this uniform, using the variance controls for any of these parameters will produce a more realistic particle system by introducing some randomness. For creating snow, we need to change the shape and position of the emitter. Those controls are adjusted in the Region tab. The emitter can represent a variety of shapes, like a sphere, a Bezier line, a bitmap image, or even a 3D model. Since we are creating snow falling from the sky, we'll use a cube and then make it wider and deeper. Next, we'll connect the particle render to our Merge 3D node, so we can see it with our ornament. Now we'll position it above the ornament. Instead of using the default points for the actual particle cells, you can use lines, bitmap images, or shapes. We'll use the soft circle shape. Since snowflakes are not all the same size, adding variance to size makes it look more organic. Now, let's work on the falling motion. Fusion includes over a dozen tools just for creating particles. These include physics simulations like bounce, avoidance, and gravity. Gravity is produced by the directional force tool, which is what we'll use here. Additional particle tools are always placed between the emitter node and the particle render node. Although we can control the strength and direction of the force, the default works well for our snow. We'll add the particle turbulence node to make the snow fall more naturally. Again, this can be placed anywhere between the emitter and particle render node. By adjusting the strength of X, we can make the particles randomly drift side to side as they fall, to create an uneven and more organic falling pattern. Our illusion is not convincing unless the snow collects on the floor and on the ornament. This can be done using the friction node. We'll set the friction node to have maximum friction strength and to only affect the snowflakes when they come into contact with objects in our scene. Since a scene can have many objects, in the flow graph we'll connect the floor and the ornament into the friction node. Once you have created a particle system, you can save it for use in other projects. After you drag it into a composition, the particle system can be customized, so it looks great in your new project.